On March 16, 1991, 13 days after Rodney King, 15-year-old Latasha Harlins entered Empire Liquor at the intersection of West 91st and South Figueroa in search of orange juice. Latasha had a hard life, and she grew up watching her mother being abused by her father. And in 1985, her mother had been murdered by a woman who got a 5-year prison sentence for manslaughter. Latasha wanted to grow up to be a prosecutor, citing her mother's murder as her motivation. She lived with her grandmother and aunt, Denise Harlins. The co-owner of Empire Liquor, Soon Jadu, was manning the counter. When Latasha slipped a $1.79 bottle of orange juice into her bag and approached the counter with cash in hand, Soon Jadu accused her of stealing. Soon then grabbed Latasha by her clothing and bag, prompting Latasha to strike her 3 times in the head. She then placed the juice, which had fallen from her hand, on the counter. As Latasha tried to leave, Soon pulled out the family revolver and shot her in the back of the head from a distance of approximately 3 feet. When her husband came in after the gunshot, he called 911 and claimed that their store had been held up. The traumatizing event was witnessed by 2 black children, a 12-year-old girl named Lakeisha Combs and her 9-year-old brother Ishmael Ali. After reviewing the evidence, police charged Soon with voluntary manslaughter and second-degree murder. After advice from fellow Koreans, Soon hired a black lawyer named Charles Lloyd, a Mississippi-born 57-year-old former cop who had represented Black Panthers, Black Muslims, and the Aryan Brotherhood, and had a flashy slogan: "When you are charged with murder, don't call unto the Lord, call Lloyd." He argued that Soon, who pretended to be unconscious at the hospital and suffered a black eye, feared for her life. She also claimed that in addition to thinking Latasha was a robber, that she believed the 13-year-old was in her mid-20s. Soon further claimed she didn't know how to shoot a gun and that she didn't remember firing it, which was disputed by the investigators who studied the video. The liquor store had been robbed 3 times in the past few years, including the previous Saturday when her husband was running it. The jury watched the videotape, and Soon was found guilty of voluntary manslaughter, with the maximum sentence for manslaughter being 16 years. After the verdict, reported LA Times, a group of 7 angry men marched in front of the Empire Liquor Market, now boarded up and posted with a for sale sign. The men carried a huge poster with Latasha's picture and the words, "Never again." The tensions continued to be exacerbated by reports of Soon's racism. When interviewed for probation eligibility, Soon said that black people were lazy and spent welfare checks on liquor instead of their children. The judge on the case, Joyce Carlin, gave Soon 5 years of probation, 10 years of a suspended prison sentence, 400 hours of community service, and a $500 fine, saying that her reaction of shooting an unarmed black teenager over a $2 bottle of orange juice was understandable.
She got away with murder.
I damn sure hope so, that there would be all the hell in the black community.
I hope somebody would care.
Stand up and see this insanity for exactly what it is. Black people once again being unjustly treated by this.
Stay on the street.
Get his hand on the bank. Since we don't pick cotton anymore and cut sugar cane, our lives is not worth anything.
The judge gave this woman probation even after she had written a letter calling Latasha the wrong name, saying, "Being a mother myself, I fully share in the sorrow Natasha's mother must be feeling, either not bothering to learn Latasha's mother was dead or forgetting." Soon's lack of remorse and her light punishment was devastating for Korean-black relations and further infuriated a black population incensed by the treatment of Rodney King. For years after the verdict, the family protested outside of Judge Carlin's home on Latasha's birthday. Tensions were clearly bubbling in the months before Soon's light sentence. For example, the owner of a Chung's liquor market on Western Avenue shot and killed a black man who acted like he was pulling out a gun, leading to a boycott of the store. In August 1991, the store and 2 other Korean-owned establishments were firebombed. The Chung's liquor market boycott lasted 109 days and was eventually negotiated to an end by Tom Bradley, with the agreement leading to the store's sale. Some Koreans are thinking, he's given up his store, even though he hasn't done anything wrong. So what's to stop other black groups from boycotting other stores? It sort of sets a precedent, said the executive director of the Korean American Coalition. On his October 1991 album Death Certificate, Ice Cube rapped on his song Black Korea. "So don't follow me up and down your market, or your little chop suey ass will be a target of the nationwide boycott." The album, which skillfully discussed the black experience in LA and managed to be anti-Semitic, homophobic, misogynistic, and bigoted, caused immense controversy and became a hip-hop classic.